Welcome back to another episode of the Don't Wait for Your Wake Up Call podcast. I am Melissa Deely, your host, and today I am here with Dr. Peggy Gleason. Welcome to the show, Dr. Peggy.
Thank you so much. I'm honored to be here. Thank you, Melissa.
Well, I'm excited to have you here and would love to introduce you to the audience. Dr. Peggy is the owner of Professional Women's Wellness and helps professional women gain body confidence through every mindful bite. She holds coaching certifications in integrative health and wellness, psychology of eating, and nutrition. As a doctor of natural health and with her extensive experience as a critical care registered nurse, Peggy brings a unique blend of expertise to empower busy professional women towards well-being. And isn't that what we all want? So that's why I was so excited to have you on the show. And I would just love for you to start out by sharing your story as to how you got to where you're at today and helping people with their body image and therefore their self-confidence and more.
Well, thank you for asking. My story, as far as how I ended up from uh, becoming a nurse to being a doctor to being a coach, it's quite a little journey. But when I grew up, I was exposed to a lot of very ill people in my family. We had two people with MS, my aunt and uncle. My brother had Down syndrome. My uncle had cardiac issues, and my mother and father always took care of everybody, and six kids as well, right? And I just that's what I grew up around, is people taking care of other people. So it seemed almost organic that I went into healthcare. I was an art major at one point, but then I thought, I think I'd like to see what it's like, right? And I love it. I've loved my career. I've worked in multiple different disciplines from, ran a very big neonatal unit in New York. That was where I spent most of my time, that and cardiothoracic. So, and what I found is while I was working as a critical care nurse, I was noticing so many people that would come back over and over and over. And it's in my philosophy was, we're not really getting to the root cause of what's going on here. They're just, allopathic medicine, the US type medicine. They just band-aid chronic illnesses. They're just a band-aid. Acute illnesses, thank goodness, we have them for broken bones and burns and everything else, right? But the chronic illnesses were something that always tore at my heart. It's like, so that's when I went back to school, oh God, about 30 years ago, to get my master's and doctorate in natural health so I could learn how are other countries staying healthy. And I saw a lot of different things that we do not normally do here. And so that's how I got there. And then, I went to school not for the letters. I went there because I was so curious, and I kept going to school and going to school. And when Duke, I don't know if you're familiar with Duke. Duke is a renowned medical institution. They were running their first integrative health coaching program. So I was in their first program. And I thought, oh, wow, now I can use what I learned. I can apply it some way, because I didn't want to shingle. That was not what I was doing it for. But I knew this would be the thing. So I did get into their program and several other programs over the years. But
Sorry, just out of interest, how long ago did Duke offer this course?
oh my gosh, it started in, I think their first group was 2009.
Oh, okay. Yeah, so
Okay.
15 years ago now. Yeah, beautiful.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
I love all that you're sharing here with this story. And, as you said, our acute care system is fabulous. And
Yes, it is.
what I see over and over and again, and what I'm hearing from my clients is that failure to be able to help people recover from chronic illness. We're just
Mm-hmm.
holding them in that state of chronic illness and trying to minimize pain. That's what they're getting, and it's not what they want. They want to recover. And so I love that, 30 years ago, you were seeing that already. and
Yes, yes.
seeking other solutions. And I love that you mentioned being curious, because when we're curious, that is when we're open to learning and we're getting out of a place of judgment as well. We're not just sitting back judging, saying, well, this isn't working and complaining about it.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
We're getting curious, what can I do about it? So kudos to you. I really love that.
Thank you. Thank you. Yeah, that's just a big passion. And throughout my coaching career, one of the things that I was always attracted to is the psychology of eating. To me, that was fascinating. And I think when Mark David, who is the pioneer of that, started doing this was, oh my gosh, it has to be in the 80s, I think. I read every book. I listened to everything. I mean, I really absorbed a lot of the importance. And how did he do that? So I then had the opportunity to study under him. And that's how I came to be doing, kind of focusing more on this. For years, I focused on the 12 dimensions of well-being, and I loved it because you could see how one interconnected with another. But I decided I need to focus on one thing.
Yes.
So that I can help people, especially women. I work primarily with women, although I have had men that I've helped as well. But I really felt that was really important just because of the impact of obesity, diabetes, heart disease, all of these things. And so it was a two-sided thing. It was that and our confidence. And when I would look at women particularly, they had this little voice that said, oh God, look at that. They'd go to a mirror, and instead of looking at the beauty they held, I mean, my goodness, you look at someone's eyes and you can see the beauty within that person. They would look for the flaws, and it would be flaw after flaw, but they would focus on the flaw and they wouldn't even notice the beauty. Right. And I thought, there's got to be a better way. So that's why I'm doing this now.
Well, it's beautiful, and I'm sure you're helping many, many people. And the unfortunate reality in our world today is that there's many more people out there that need your support and are looking for it. And, obesity the numbers have just skyrocketed in the last 50 years, right? And that's partially just the food industry and the marketing industry and the advertising and pushing all of that processed food full of, chemicals and, all sorts of things that are negatively impacting our health. And so, you're shifting people's lives, looking at their lifestyle habits. And I know one of the key things you help people understand is their triggers. So talk to me about
Oh boy. Oh boy. When we think about our triggers, we're not even aware of them half the time. First of all, the main reasons why I find most of my clients are overeating or eating at night is something's triggering it. They might be depressed, sad, tired, bored. The mental health component is very, very important in this part of it. And when I work with people that, especially emotional eating, they don't even, there's no stopping point once you start eating when you're sad or depressed. How do people, first of all, how many people eat out of a bag? They eat out of a bag. They don't put it on a plate. They just keep going without even realizing. Why do you think movie theaters sell giant buckets of popcorn? Because you're distracted paying attention to something else while you're feeding yourself. So there's a lot of different things.
Mindless eating.
Yes, mindless eating. Exactly. Exactly. So, I mean, there's so many triggers people might have. And once they are mindful and aware of them, it's like, wow, there's certain things that people behaviors people have, like how do they eat? I've always said it's not just what you eat, it's the when, where, how, and why you eat. So that's part of that.
Absolutely. Those are all very, very important aspects of eating. And I always say to people as well, you're not just what you eat, but you are what you absorb.
Yes, yes, absolutely. I always tell people if I ever thought people would eat in front of news broadcasts, I'd be screaming. It's like, no, no, because you're absorbing all that negativity. What
Mhm.
does that do to your metabolism, right?
Exactly.
It's
Exactly.
it just puts a stop to it. It's just you're not going to absorb what you're eating. And I
Right.
I so appreciate you brought that up.
Yeah, because you're in that stressed out state. And so you're not in your
Hmm.
rest and digest state. And you need to be in your rest
No,
and digest state for all of your digestive enzymes, etc.,
absolutely.
to even be working. So
Yes,
yeah,
yes.
yeah. So just while we're talking about that, you mentioned nighttime. And so nighttime eating, that's often a time when people, they'll have dinner and then after dinner, they start on the snacks and it doesn't stop.
Hmm.
And so I'd love for you to share your thoughts on that and any small tips that you might have to help people that are listening. If they know that's them, what can they do?
Yes, yes. Well, you are right. After dinner, what comes? Yeah, historically, oh, dessert. A lot of people say, oh, I'm going to clean the kitchen, then I'll have dessert. Well, dessert becomes that barrage of anything goes, right? Um, and I have always found, and I know so many people, a lot of people are very lonely at night. If they live alone, they don't have support systems or whatever. Very often, it's those people that are mindlessly eating because they will put something on the television and they will sit, and it can be hours of watching television, but they always have their hand on a piece of food, right? So that is a really big, big problem. And one of the tips right off the bat, I have a 30-day program for good by night bites. And this is something where people can do something every single day to break those habits. And one of the things, of course, we know portion. Okay, it's not to, we don't want to teach people deprivation because it doesn't work.
No.
Um, but you want to say, okay, pause and think about the pause is the most important word. In fact, I will tell my clients, I want you to get index cards, write the word pause, and put it everywhere that you can see it, where it involves your eating habits. And I want you to pause and really think, what are you thinking, feeling? What emotional state are you in? And then, if you really want that ice cream, I want you to sit down at a table, not in front of the TV, and have a small portion and take your time and enjoy that treat if that's what's really going on. So it takes a long time for people to get beyond the emotional eating at night. That's one of the hardest things that I hear from clients is
Mhm.
when night comes. Also, I'll recommend they have something to do with their hands. A
Mhm.
lot of women, they might have crafts, or they might do knitting, or hey, even if it's a puzzle, that's great. Do that for a little while. That'll get your mind off, sticky food. You got to handle that with clean hands. So there's a lot of different types of things I will recommend, and usually it is change your body and you'll change your state. So that's an important thing for them to remember. Don't sit in that same chair. Maybe sit in a different chair. Break that neuropath,
Yeah,
uh,
yeah,
yeah,
the patterning.
neuropathic pattern. That's another thing I might recommend. Sit on the other side of the room. Just try to change things up and be kind to yourself. You're not going to get it overnight. This is not a quick fix. You've been doing it for years, right? So, yeah, those are just some of the simple things. But we dive pretty deep to find out what's really going on.
Oh, absolutely. And that is truly what's needed. However, those are some great, little tips that people can start working with and
Yeah.
seeing how effective they are for them. And if
Yes.
they're not effective, don't beat yourself up. Don't say this doesn't work. All it means is you
Mm-mm.
actually need to go deeper into the
Yes.
psychology of what's going on and the unconscious behavior that is
Yes.
driving you to be eating, and then we can change that. That's the beautiful thing about our mind and neuroplasticity is we can rewire it.
Yes.
So
Absolutely. Absolutely.
beautiful. So let's talk about why diets don't work.
Oh, they don't. It's deprivation.
Hmm.
First of all, when you're on, quote, a diet, right away, you're depriving yourself of certain categories of food, right? So you may not get all the nutrients you really need. And people say, "Well, I'm only going to do low carb. No carbs, no carbs." Well, you need carbohydrates. Your brain needs your carbohydrates. So they just don't understand. And I
Hmm.
think most of it is just learning. That's one of the things. When people are deprived in a big way, like some of these very low calorie diets, they go haywire when they do start eating and they gain it all back. 95 to 97% of people that lose weight will regain it between 1 and 5 years, 1 and 3 years, actually. So they just don't work. It's deprivation. And, that's a big deal.
Hmm.
Um, it's just beating yourself up. It's like punishment instead of joy. You're
Right.
punishing yourself. And when you're not in the state of joy, if you start feeling that stress, oh my gosh, I can't have this, I can't have that. When I go out to eat, I have to, oh, I'm embarrassed. So, yeah, that's part of the reason.
Yeah, it's not sustainable.
No, it's
You might
not
be able to do
sustainable.
it for, a week, maybe 2 weeks, and you just, we're not supposed to be living in deprivation. And
No, no.
it isn't sustainable. And then people fall off and then they blame themselves and think that they don't have strong enough willpower.
Yes,
And again,
that is
it's not healthy.
absolutely. Absolutely.
Yeah. And the other thing that is also true, as you were saying, is we can't cut out an entire food group. We need our major food groups.
Exactly. Exactly.
And so it's more about finding the right way to eat for your unique body.
Hmm.
And that's what you're helping your clients do versus the latest fad diet that is marketed to you at the every store checkout counter line and on TV, et cetera, et cetera.
That's right. You got to cut out all the processed foods. That's the most, just
Yep.
shop on the outer perimeter. If
Yes.
it's a
And make your
normal,
meals at home.
exactly, exactly. The one of the most important things I would recommend people do is slow down,
Hmm.
you know, slow down your eating. They don't realize that when you eat really fast, your metabolism slows. And when you eat slow, your metabolism rises. And that to me is a magical thing to remember because everybody wants their metabolism to be robust and good. And, they're going to just absorb and cycle it through and they're going to have all this energy. It does the opposite. So I would tell everyone start by slowing down and with certain techniques. I teach mindful eating. And that's a really important part of what my clients learn.
Hmm. Yes. And with mindful eating, I too encourage my clients to take at least 20 minutes to eat a meal. And when
Oh,
I ask
yes,
them how
yes.
long does it take them to typically eat a meal, because we're just living in this do, 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 go, go, go world and rushing so much, the average person
Hmm.
is consuming a meal in 5 to 7 minutes.
Yes, yes, you're absolutely correct. That's right. It's just, your digestion does not work when you're in that flight or flight system. You have to enjoy it. The whole idea of eating, it should be a wonderful experience, not I have to. How many people eat fast? And if you're listening, where's your mind when you're eating? Is it the next thing you have to do when you finish eating? Generally, that's where your mind is. Oh, I have to do this right after I eat. I have to go put a laundry in or talk to the kids or whatever it is. That's a big, big part of it. And if you're going to start to eat slower, the first thing that you do is you put your fork down and let it go in between bites until you swallow. That's the simplest first step, I think.
Yes, absolutely. Because it's amazing how we'll just shovel it in otherwise, right?
That's
Mindlessly
right.
again.
Yes, yes. You don't even realize. But how many people hold on to their fork?
Mhm.
Probably most people
Mhm.
hold on to their fork. And it's like when you have to release it, then it's a reminder of like, oh, how fast am I chewing? Or, what does it taste like? What do I smell? It's like all your
Exactly.
senses should be involved, right?
Enjoying it all. Absolutely. And there
Yes,
are so
yes, yes.
many things and so many easy, simple steps to this that people can take. So if you're listening and you're thinking, well, I've tried everything, you might have tried everything in terms of all of the diets that are, promoted through the supermarkets, et cetera, et cetera. I promise you, this is an entirely different experience, customized to
Yes.
you and teaching you these simple steps that you can take in order to shift your habits around eating, as well as your triggers.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So beautiful. So let's talk about body confidence too. So I know that's a big
Oh,
part
that's
of
a
your
big
program.
one.
It is.
The big one. We do some exercises to help people. The first one of the things I find is when you say, okay, the challenge would be go to in front of a full length mirror without your clothing. How many people are going to run down the street when they hear that? Like, what are you crazy? Like, no, only from the head up. I do my makeup and my hair. That's all I need to do. And especially today in the world of Zoom, right?
Yes.
How many people are wearing shorts and a really nice top or pajamas, right? Um, so when I have them just gently, and sometimes it means, okay, look in the mirror without your top. The next step is, okay, first of all, what do you see? I want people to look in their eyes and see the beauty because the beauty is in your eyes.
Mhm.
That's the window to your soul, for goodness sake, right?
Mhm.
So that's one of the most important things. I find a lot of people look at photographs of themselves and shudder. It's like, why? Because they're looking at the outside package. They're not looking at the human being. They're looking at, oh my God, my pants look tight. Gee, I should have stood a different way. We're so self-judgmental. And in my programs, I really try very hard to help women embrace who they are, and who is this person in front of me? What is in their soul? What is in their minds? What is in their hearts? And once they start working on their whole being, it's amazing how they come out and they sort of start looking at themselves in a different way. That's the start. It takes a lot of work. It takes a lot of practice, but it's really important to work on that and think about how do they judge others. Because I think oftentimes I find a lot of clients will be, if you say, do you judge other people for your weight the way you're judging yourself?
Mm.
And they'll say, I do, because they're just transferring their own
Right.
stuff out there, right?
Right.
So that's another little exercise we go into too.
Mhm. And turning that judgment into curiosity, as we talked about at the very
Curiosity.
beginning of the show, And
Yes.
the other piece there that I always love to share is talk to yourself as if you're talking to someone you love.
Absolutely. Absolutely. I'm so glad you brought that up, Melissa, because that's all part of, self-love is, well, number one, it was the first dimension of the wheel of health that I
Mhm.
taught. It was, you got to do that first.
Yep.
And yeah, to just know that you're worthy and just you are worthy. You're worthy
Yes.
of everything that you're been given by the Almighty or wherever you believe in. Um, you know, everybody has a different belief, and I have strong beliefs about the create. I believe in God, so and
I
it's
talk
that's
about the
important to
universe.
me.
It's whatever it is
Yeah,
that
it's
we
the
talk.
universe, the
It's
God, or whatever. Yeah.
knowing that there's something bigger than us, and
Yes. Thank you.
knowing that our soul chose to come back here this time around
Yes.
because
Yes.
we needed
Yes.
to learn something or we needed to help other people learn something or both, and that
Mm-hmm.
we
Mm-hmm.
have everything we need within us in order to achieve that.
Yes, yes, I agree. That is so beautifully put. So beautifully put. Thank you.
And that we are worthy, except that life beats us down
Mm-hmm.
and we can start to feel unworthy.
Mm-hmm.
And
That's
to
so
know
true.
that there's so many tools that we can use to change that as well for you.
And yes, and I will add that's why you need your support system. You need
Yes.
accountability. You can't do this alone. No one can do anything alone.
And we were
We are
never meant
meant,
to.
yeah, yeah, we're not meant to do that, right? So that's another component I think it's really important for people to say, oh, I know I read a book and I know what to do. And generally, it doesn't work well because they don't have a cheerleader saying, no, you're beautiful. You are whole, resourceful, kind. You can do it, but I'm going to hold a space for you to be able to do it, right?
I jokingly call that shelf development. So,
I like
are
it.
you doing self development or shelf development? And the shelf development is reading a book and then thinking that's all that's needed. However, in all of my coaching and the work that I do, there's the theory or the academic that you need to learn. And then there's the experiential. There's the putting it into practice, developing the skills, the implementation of that academic. And where those two circles of the Vesica Pisces cross, in the middle is where we get wisdom.
Yes,
That's where we get
absolutely.
results. And so that is self-development. The
I
book
love the
itself is
term.
shelf development. Read the book, put it
That
on the
is,
shelf.
yeah. Oh, I got to remember that. That's a great one. I hadn't heard it put quite in that way, but I really think that's wonderful. Thank you.
Well, you're welcome to use it because I didn't make it up either. I learned it somewhere and loved it, and I use it too, right?
Yeah, yeah,
No
that's how
great
we all
idea is
learn.
a new idea. It came from somewhere else.
Uh, it did. Yes, that's true.
So, yeah, so to the audience listening, I really invite you to think about that. In what is your self-development path? Who are the cheerleaders, the coaches that can help you achieve the goals that you want to achieve? Because if you could do it alone, you would already have done it. And it doesn't
Hmm.
make you a bad person or an unsuccessful person because you haven't done it alone. You were never meant to do it alone. And so
That's
this is
right.
your opportunity to step into your self-care, your self-worth by choosing to invest in you in terms of working with someone that can help you achieve those goals.
Absolutely. I love that.
So Peggy, thank you for all of this great wisdom and your tips, etc., that you've shared here today. And I love to ask every single one of my guests that comes on the show, what does don't wait for your wake up call mean to you?
Wow, that's a really easy one to answer. When I think of healthcare today, and having spent over 4 decades in critical care, people tend to say, oh, it'll never happen to me. And I'm talking about health crisis. And oftentimes, many people will come to me, well, I need to lose weight because, oh, I had a blood pressure that was like, they said I could have a stroke, or I did have a heart attack, or, I just couldn't perform well enough because I didn't have the confidence to do my job. It can be so many things that happen that could have been prevented, really. Mm-hmm. So that's how I would describe that. Don't wait. Don't wait. Take care of yourself now. Don't wait till you have a health crisis or an emotional crisis too, because it's not all that hard to pick up the phone and find help.
That's beautiful. And from someone who's seen it, many, many health crises in your lifetime and helped many people recover from them. However, that recovery is always so much harder than people think. And so taking the preventative action, yes, it's a little bit of work and it's a little bit of effort, but it's not nearly the work and the effort of the recovery after the fact. Am I right?
Absolutely. Absolutely. And I love how you reframed that, because that is true. I've seen people close to me, very close to me, not want to change their eating habits, not want to, get rid of some of the toxic foods they were eating. And then I'd find out, oh my God, I just got a call and they're in critical care. Oh my goodness. Their heart is trashed. They have to have open heart surgery. And these are people I know, good friends my goodness, it affects me. These are people I love. I love them. And to think they thought they could wait. No, I'm good for now. So yeah, it's all, I think what you're doing here is amazing because it is so true.
Well, thank you. And that's why I have this podcast, is to get this information out, because society has taught us that we don't have to focus on our health because, if we get sick, we just go to the doctor and they make us better. Except that we know in today's world that isn't working. And you're, testament to that, having worked in the industry. You've seen it firsthand. And you've chosen a different path for yourself in order to be able to truly help people. And there's, many more people like you in the healthcare industry that are choosing that as well, realizing I got in here to help people and the system as it is now isn't letting me help people. What more can I do? And so again, kudos to you for recognizing your mission and following that, not just following the system. And thank you for the work that you're doing and helping many recover their health, recover their worth, recover their self-love. And that's beautiful. So thank you. Now, I know you're
I appreciate it.
A free gift to the audience. Uncover your hidden triggers. So please share a little bit more about that and how people can get hold of you if they would like to work with you.
Oh, absolutely. Well, the triggers we spoke about, it is a self-assessment sheet. And what's so cool about that is there are so many hidden triggers you're not even aware of. So it's a real simple thing. You just, put your name in, you get this little quiz, and it's all about awareness. And that's more important than anything. Is sometimes we don't know what we don't know, right? So when you take this quiz, it's going to tell you, okay, this is what's going on with you. And to get in touch with me, my goodness, we have many ways. Number one, they can contact me via email, of course, peg@peggygleason.com. A lot of my information will be in the show notes, I believe. Yes. But the most important thing is to check out the newsletter, because we have upcoming events. We have opportunities to have coaching done, either group coaching or individual coaching. I just got done with a coach-a-thon. That was fun. So I do that. I do that quarterly. So yeah.
That's awesome. Well, thank you. And yes, all of that information will be in the show notes, so people will be able to get hold of you.
Yes.
And Dr. Peggy, is there any last wisdom that you would like to share with the audience before we end this show today?
I think it's more about what we talked about before. Don't just judge yourself by the package. You are beautiful, resourceful, whole. Look in your eyes and get to know that beautiful human being you are.
That's beautiful. Thank you so much for being on the show today, Dr. Peggy. This has been a fabulous conversation. And to my audience, thank you for tuning in each and every week, learning and getting curious about your health for yourself, for your family, for your loved ones. And if anything you heard today resonates and you know someone else needs to hear it, please share this episode with them as well.